Hi, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're looking at something that I found a lot of kids really struggle with. It's called completing the square. Alright, and what it is it's a way of turning a normal quadratic of ax squared plus bx plus c, okay, into a perfect square, into a quadratic of the form ax plus p squared plus q. Some people say x minus p squared, but it doesn't really matter when you understand the theory behind it, whether that's plus or minus in the normal form, in the general form. Sorry, that's what I'm looking for, the general form. Okay, so it's a way of turning from that to that. Now I'm going to start this. I have to break this down into two videos, into two lessons, because I'm going to start first where a is 1. Okay, just like in solving quadratics, we started with the easy one where a is 1, so we don't have to consider it. I'm going to start with that first, just to get the idea behind it. The steps are on the blog, okay, on the notes below. They're really straightforward, but let's just work through them to see how they work. Okay, so let's look at the first example, e.g. And the first one I want to turn x squared plus 4x plus 5 into CTS, completing the square form. Okay, so now here's my suggestion. There's lots of ways to structure this, and some teachers structure it a certain way and other teachers a different way. This is what I like to do. I like to ignore the constant and just focus on the x part. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on this x part, and here I've got x squared plus 4x. Okay, now I'm going to change this into a completed the square version. Okay, so I'm going to change this into a perfect square. In order to make this into a perfect square, right, I have to do x plus half of b, half of 4 is 2, all squared. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second before I clean the rest of it up. Because if I have to do this, take a look here. Let me use a different color. So, I'm just going to come here onto the side. If I had to multiply x plus 2 squared, x plus 2, if I had to multiply that out, well, x squared is x times 2 is 2, doubled is 4x plus 4x, 2 squared is plus 4. If I multiplied out this perfect square, I would get this extra plus 4 there, okay? Which, that would be fine if I wanted an extra plus 4 here, but I don't. I don't want that plus 4. All I want is that part, the x squared plus 4x part. So in order to counteract this plus 4 that's going to automatically pop out of here, right, I have to subtract the 4, minus 4. Are you with me? This minus 4 will cancel out that extra plus 4 that will come out of there. But what is that minus 4? It's half of that squared. Alright. So, super. So this is just the x parts. That's just the x parts. Now I can put it back into here and tidy things up. So I've got just the x parts. X plus 2 squared minus 4. That's this part. Are you with me? That's changed into a perfect square. Please also notice difference of 2 squares. Alright, so it makes it a perfect square, right? Okay, plus the 5 that's sitting there as well. And I just tidy things up now. Alright, so this gives me x plus 2 squared, negative 4 plus 5 is plus 1. There, I've turned that into completing the square form there. You with me? Okay, let's try another one. Let's try x squared minus 12x minus 8. So e.g. x squared minus 12x minus 8. Okay, so again, I'm just going to look at this, just that part. X squared minus 12x. Okay, you with me? So, if I just look at that part, well, let's put that minus 8 in there, just so that we can keep it all together. Alright, here I did it separately, then put it back. Here I'm going to put it all together. Okay, so just look at this part. I want half of that. What's half of 12? 6. Okay, so x, same sign, minus half of 12, 6. Alright, all squared. Are you with me? But now what's going to happen if I square 6? I'm going to get a 36 in as well. Right, so I have to correct for that. So it's half of 12, 6, squared, 36. I have to take away that 36 that's going to pop out when I square that negative 6. You with me? All right. And I'm just going to leave that minus 8 that's been floating there. Okay. Now all we have to do is we have to tidy it up. So we are pretty much done. X minus 6 squared, negative 36, and negative 8 is negative 44. Negative 44. Okay. Pretty straightforward, huh? Half of that, same sign, and then correct the half of that by taking it off. Always subtracting it. Why is it subtracting? Because a positive times a positive is a positive, so I've got to subtract. And a negative times a negative is also a positive, so I have to subtract it. This here, both of these, are the correction that's going to happen when you square the brackets. You with me with that? Okay. Right. So, let's try another one. Let's do the last one, x squared, e.g. x squared plus 10x plus 7. And I want to change this into completing the square form. Okay. So, again, I'm just going to look at the x parts for now. And the x parts gives me x, same sign, plus half of 10, 5, all squared. Right? Always half of b. Okay? And now, when I multiply this out, I'm going to get 25. So I've got to get rid of half of b squared, 25. Okay? And then the plus 7 is just floating along there, plus 7. You with me? Just put an equals to come down from that line. Okay. And now all we have to do is tidy things up. So I've got here equals x plus 5 squared, negative 25, and 7. Negative 25 and 7 is negative 18. Okay. Right, piece of cake, huh? Okay. Now, this is quite important because getting it into this form not only allows you to solve quadratics. Like, I'm going to do another video where I'm show you how to solve quadratics using completing the square. Well, it's not my favorite, but it's possible. Okay. So it doesn't only allow you to solve quadratics, but it also tells you a lot about the graph. If we had to graph this, this would tell us a lot about what the turning point is. But I'm going to look at that in another video. Okay. All right. So that's not too tricky, but you need to go and do a couple of them. You need to remember the general form for completing the square. X plus or minus. I'm putting plus or minus because it depends what happens there. B over 2, half of b squared, minus b over 2 all squared. That corrects that. Always minus. Plus whatever, and you tidy it up. Okay. So that is what changes the variable part into a perfect square, which is there. Alright? That move. And you have to just learn that. Okay. But I find that kids remember it easier if they understand that, oh, this is to tidy up when that kind of becomes squared. Okay. Alright. Then you don't have to remember that part. Okay. Go check it out. Go practice some more. Find some more in your textbook. Find some more online and go give them a shot. Okay. Just remember, I'm here for you.